Yeah.
Maybe I'm thinking out of the.
How are you?
It's just been dropped off, so Dixie will be working on it while we're
Okay.
meeting. No, that's okay. That's fine. I just wanted to let them know the watch board, so you know, approve it.
All right, it's 10 a.m. I'm gonna call the meeting to order. Would you please stand and say the pledge of allegiance with us?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Let the record show more people are present on the board. We have a public announcement, comment announcement. If there's anybody from the public that wants to make a comment to the board, they will need to go over to the table over here and read the script and then fill out the form and make a public comment. At the end of the meeting, we will reserve about 30 minutes for public comment. But you only get 3 minutes each to speak on your topic. The board will not respond unless the chair allows it. Okay, we got the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second that.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carried. Okay, next up, do we have any new hires in here today? None, okay. That was easy. Okay, next up is Kate Gerber, Public Relations, and the Wall That Heals Outreach Coordinator. The Wall That Heals is coming to Pottawatomie County. That's a big announcement.
It is, and hopefully you all saw the official press release that went out last week. This was the result of several months of the committee and members from the Veterans Office working together to put this application in. We will officially be hosting the 3/4 scale replica wall from the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Foundation over Memorial Day weekend. So not only are we hosting it, but we were selected to host it over a holiday weekend, which is an additional honor and just a testament to how hard this group worked. And we've got several members of the committee here today, as well as from the Veterans Office. We're just thrilled to be able to bring this to the veterans of Pottawatomie County and all of the surrounding areas. We've looked at, what sites had it in over recent years, and this is really something special that we're able to bring to this area. So it'll be at West Fair, May 22nd through 25th. We will be sharing a lot of updates between now and then, one of which will be a call for volunteers. We will need upwards of 200 to 300 volunteers over the course of the week that it's here, because we have to staff the setup of the wall, the building of the wall, as well as the tear down. And then it is open for 24 hours a day and free to the public while it is on display. And we have to have volunteers staffing it that entire time as well. So volunteers is going to be a huge thing for us that we will need support. I know David Hazelwood is working very hard on the donation side of things. And then we'll also be reaching out to offer educational opportunities for groups that want to come and receive a tour of the wall while they're here. There's also a mobile education center. And so individuals will be able to learn more about the service members who were part of the Vietnam War. And then there's a local heroes portion of that as well, that's specifically honoring the individuals who served, who were from this area. So just really excited to be able to bring this announcement in front of all of you. And if anybody else wants to add anything.
Peggy, you got anything? No. Okay, if you want to volunteer, who do you get a hold of?
Absolutely. So we are just getting ready to launch the official website page, which will have all of that information. We're finalizing the details on the volunteer sign-up form. So that will be coming soon. We'll do another big push and announcement once that is launched. And then obviously we're getting it out on all of the community websites, the tourism websites and everything, because we know that's a big travel weekend. And certainly we hope that maybe by getting it out in front of people this far in advance, that they can make a plan to have it be part of their plans, whether it's staying in town a little bit longer, sticking around, or maybe making this their travel destination for Memorial Day weekend. That is one thing that is slightly different. Typically where the wall is displayed Thursday through Sunday, we will have it Friday through Monday. So that is just something to note so that we're able to actually have it on Memorial Day itself.
This is huge. It's gonna be a neat deal.
Okay, I'm a Vietnam era veteran, and I saw the wall for the first time in 2021 out in DC, and it's a remarkable piece of work. I mean, plain, you wouldn't think, it was anything fashionable, but there was a lot of people there. It was a Thursday afternoon, a lot of people there laying flowers, letters, copying on paper their loved one, the name of the wall. Quite a remarkable sight.
Yeah, and this is really meant to try and replicate that as much as possible. Obviously, it's incredibly meaningful for those who are able to get to DC to see the wall there. But for those that maybe they aren't able to travel or just, it's a lot closer to them to have it here. It does replicate that same feeling you get as you walk towards the center where it gets taller towards the middle. And then they are still able to do the etchings or the rubbings of names from the wall. We'll have volunteers there who will be able to look up in the book where they are located on the wall to help people with that if they're trying to do a rubbing.
I also heard West Fair is doing some groundwork
Yes.
for this to set on and planting that and stuff.
Yep, they're being a great partner for us in assisting with making sure that it's going to be a really safe and just lovely open area for this to be able to be displayed. Part of why it has the name that it does is there's a lot of healing that can happen for people when they're able to kind of get some closure potentially by seeing the wall. And so hopefully we're going to just be able to provide that meaningful experience for everybody here in Potawatomi County.
It'll probably drag a lot of people from surrounding areas.
We might want to work with SWITA to see about bus routes, and you're shaking your head, Rebecca, you're already all over it.
They're actually on our list.
Excellent.
Yep, for a variety of reasons.
I know the VA has worked really hard on this, especially Rebecca. She's really worked hard on this, and this is going to be a big score for everyone.
Yeah, everyone on this committee has already put in a lot of hours. There's many, many, many hours to come, but we are just really thrilled as a group that we're able to get this recognition and have this wall for everyone to be able to go see it. In total, there were 31 sites that will be that were selected for this tour for 2026. And there were 153 applications. So definitely very impactful.
And if you're interested in contributing, you can get on the Community Foundation of Southwest Iowa, and they have a tab that's already launched that is dedicated to this initiative, and you're welcome to contribute to that if you'd like.
And then I'd publicly thank Rebecca for that interview she did on 106.5, right? With Todd Studer.
Just did the Todd Studer podcast, yep.
Isn't that on 106.5?
Really?
No? Oh, well, maybe I give them credit and they didn't need it. Anyway, thank you, Rebecca, for that. That was well done.
A lot of good work. Thank you, people, everybody. Anything else?
Put you on the spot. Who was on the committee?
Most of us, I believe, are here. We've got Brad Powell over here on the end. He's going to be responsible for our volunteers. Jacob Townsend right beside me. He's responsible for a lot of the travel arrangements as well as the motorcade that's going to bring the truck into Potawatomi County. Myself, I'm on the education aspect of that, so scheduling tours for local school districts, different agencies who want to tour the wall. Mr. Hazelwood is right in front of me. He's one of our co-chairs. And then, of course, Kate Gerber, you know what her responsibilities are. I believe that's all of them that are present today. We have a Vietnam veteran, Mick Gutaw, who's another co-chair of ours. Mitch Rollins is in charge of logistics, so he's with the county.
Thank you all.
Thanks, everybody. Going to be quite the big deal.
Yeah, thanks for giving us an opportunity to talk about it a little bit more outside of just the.
Just
press release.
informed and
Absolutely.
I know you'll have it on the website, but if you'd come in next time you come in, tell us where to sign up for it.
Yep, once we've got the
Volunteers.
call for volunteers launched, I'll be back.
Good. Thank you.
Brad is good at rounding up volunteers.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna move on. Next up is Andy Wicks, engineer, and Randy Fry, Peterson Brothers Construction. Update on Pioneer Trail and Wabash Avenue following the study session from November 18th.
Yeah, so just got off the phone with Jared Davis from the Google Data Center side, and they agreed to partner and pay for installation of driver feedback signs or speed limit feedback signs, as well as some speed limit reduction signs. So on Pioneer Trail, we are reducing the speed limit from 40 miles an hour to 35 miles an hour. And those signs should be put up today.
Okay,
Yeah, there was an issue with their vendor that they didn't have the signs in stock, and they got that figured out, and so those signs should be up today. And then on Wabash, we're gonna be putting up driver feedback signs, both northbound and southbound. Southbound just north of Pioneer Trail, and then northbound on Wabash, just south of Pioneer Trail. So to try to alert the traveling public that, hey, you are speeding and we want to reduce speeds. So those signs should all be put up today, and they will go through the end of dirt hauling. So I did not get a chance to talk to Randy before this, and maybe you have an update on dirt hauling, but as far as I know, the target is still end of the year, kind of, or by December 31st to finish dirt hauling at that site. But that's to be determined.
do you think our weather's gonna stop us? Yeah, we
I know what
don't.
it looks like in the next 5 days, but after that, it's hard to guess. I think it's been a little wet, and so we've been trying not to put too much mud on the road yesterday and today, but that's still the intention, to be done by Christmas.
Are we brooming Pioneer Trail some?
Beg your pardon?
Are we running a broom on?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're running water trucks on the site to keep dust down.
Yep.
They're running street sweepers as needed up and down, kind of between the entrance and maybe the first quarter mile is really all it needs. But they've got all their equipment sitting there, so they use it on the days they need it. And
Okay,
when it's too wet and muddy, they just don't run.
I really appreciate you guys paying attention to this issue. The blinking signs, Andy, I appreciate that effort too. I'm just reminded every time I go through a small town and here in Potawatomi County, usually, Underwood and all of them have those lighted signs. And it's just a reminder, I look at that, okay, if it's red, I slow down, I look at what my speed is. If it's green, I'm good to go. But, I really appreciate that. So thank you.
Definitely. Yeah, and Google was a great partner. We asked to do a cost share with them, and they offered to pay the whole.
Okay, great job.
that's good.
I gave my contact information to all the neighbors that were here at the last meeting in case they had feedback, complaints, or something specific they needed to share. I have only heard from Paula since then, and her feedback was positive, that she'd seen, a reduction in the engine brake activity and the speeds and things of that nature as well in this last meeting. Is that still an accurate statement? Good. So we're doing everything that we can and trying to be conscientious of the neighbors and their rights to peace and quiet enjoyment of their homes, and we can do, beyond what's already been implemented. But I think, those that are involved are seeing it, working a lot better right now.
I used to tell customers, we gotta break some eggs to make an omelet. And we're in the process of breaking the eggs, and
Yeah.
it'll all get put together and we'll cook up a good omelet with economic development on both ends of this project. So
Yep.
I think it's good.
Was there a crash out there last week?
Yes.
What-
Friday morning.
Yeah, what was the cause of that? Has anybody determined that yet?
To Jeremy Long from J Dunn, the contractors for Google. He doesn't know. He came down when the crash was there. Apparently the black car rolled 3 times. I have photos of it. It was right in front of Ashwood Lane, right across. I'm guessing it rolled across the highway or into the ditch next in front of us. But the amount of accidents has increased exponentially since, not just the dirt, but the trucks going by.
Was that the one on by Overland Trail?
No, Ashwood Lane, right at the top of my.
But there
highway.
was,
Okay,
And
okay.
there
there
was
was
another
one
one.
there,
Yes.
somebody got rear-ended.
Yes, and there was,
As I think it was
Yeah.
after this meeting, I was
Yes.
going home later in the day and here sent a car
Yes.
and their rear end was been rear-ended, so.
and there was another one over by Glenwood that, Jeremy Long from J.E. Dunn told me about, because 1,000 people leave Google every day from
Man,
work.
when they leave, it's
Yeah.
more come.
So
Yeah.
Okay, well, maybe
it's
I'll
increased a lot.
give the sheriff's team and see what they come up with as far as what was the cause of that.
Okay,
I mean, if it wasn't caused because of a dirt truck, then
Oh, I don't think so.
you don't think so? Oh, well, that's good. Awesome.
Well,
I could be wrong. I wasn't there. I just,
it's that curve that's there.
Yeah.
And then if somebody
No
up
light.
ahead is turning
Yep.
like me into my driveway and they're not, it's,
or getting our mail.
hopefully we get enough weather to knock this out and be done.
Yeah, Overland Trail wouldn't be a dirt truck either, because that's
No,
no.
north of Pioneer and we're
No.
going south.
Right, right.
So Andy, were you able to find that traffic study that was done not too long ago?
So it's on my desk. I have not reviewed it. So Foth Engineering did an engineering study. And then also Google or some entity paid for a traffic study, and Olson Engineering did that earlier this year. And so I reviewed that. And so those are on my desk.
Is there any recommendation to control that intersection of Wabash and Pioneer? Can we
So
turn it into a three-way stop?
Olson's recommendation was if there are 200 trucks an hour, they recommended signalizing the intersection of Pioneer and Wabash, but just my understanding is we are not running 200 trucks an hour. So I have not, the plan is to get an updated traffic count to confirm if we need to make it a three-way stop, make it a signalized intersection long-term, because Olson's recommendation was if trucks are running, it needs to be signalized. But if we only have a month until trucks are done running, Lord willing, then the lead time on traffic signals would be more than a month. So
What's the lead time on three-way stop?
we could get stop signs installed within a week. However, I'm apprehensive to do that without a study on that specific installation. The way traffic interacts with signals is different than how they interact with stop signs. And so I would want to review in depth how they would respond to stop signs and the queuing that would create. I just haven't run the model on traffic flow if it was to be a stop sign controlled intersection.
But you've got the study on your desk and you'll follow up and
Yeah.
proceed it accordingly.
I believe there was a study done for a turn lane there too,
Mhm.
as well. So, I mean, there's options that, you could possibly look at. Maybe not just because of this current, situation, but down the road when 188 homes are built. So,
Definitely.
Yeah.
And that
Okay.
goes in, oh, sorry, go ahead.
yeah, I think you're right on top of it.
So long-term, and I think I mentioned this in the study session, we're going to look at introducing an access management policy, an AMP. And that basically will be a guideline for when we get a new development that has 180 homes, it will be able to give us the information to spit out what kind of improvements we need to do at different intersections. So
Cool.
Anybody got anything else? Okay, we'll move to the next. Next up is Jason Slack, Director of Buildings and Grounds. Discussion on bids to replace the HVAC systems in 8 tower buildings. Each site has 2 HVAC units.
This was part of the 911 communications upgrade task force.
Thank you, Jason. We supposed to read this real quick?
Thanks, Jace.
That speed reading class you took will come in handy.
So I drafted the RFP up and posted it on Standard Digital's website and the county website for 3 weeks. Bids came back we had several bids. I can't remember exactly how many, 7 or 8. Bid tabs in there on that yellow Post-it note. So low bid was cell site, lowest qualifying bid was Cell Site Solutions at $133,407.60. The submittal and the quote is attached to your packet there. So the HVAC units on these tower sites are 15 to 20 plus years old. It's critical infrastructure. We need to make sure that those tower sites are kept cool in the summer with that computer equipment inside. Replacement is warranted on all of those units.
Jason, do they heat themselves in the winter?
Yeah, they heat as well as
Okay.
cool. The
Generated
cooling
no
is
heat.
more important. And these new units will be the 454B refrigerant, which is what everything's switching over to. The 410A units that are on there now are obsolete. So we'll be upgrading
Would you
to,
say 454B?
yep. And that's all in the submittal.
Okay. This is one thing that stood out to me. There's a tax on this too.
The tax won't be on there. We'll get that.
Okay. So 124,680.
Yep, sorry.
That's okay.
This Cell Site Solutions, I did a little bit of research into them. They have done local government work all around the state of Iowa. So they do have references. I just haven't got the list yet, but they have had experience in working with state and local governments on communications.
Did they all bid the same, AC unit,
Yes,
manufacturer and all that?
yes.
Did, how did you determine who you wanted to use for that, Jason? As far as the supplier or provider of the,
They can get it from whatever supplier that they want.
okay, but you specified a certain
Yes.
brand.
Yes.
Why did you specify that certain
Well,
brand?
I didn't specify the brand. I specified comparable units to what's in there now. It has to be the exact tonnage. The brand of the unit didn't matter. So, but they all wound up bidding the same model. Some of the bids were higher because I think they had crane included, which I don't think crane's necessary. Something that could be a cost add-on. So we may wind up having to remove some of the fencing around those tower sites in order for them to get to it and put it back.
Without digging into this too far, Jace, who is the manufacturer of the AC units?
Bard,
Bard,
B-A-R-D.
B-A-R-D?
Yep.
Are they from the United States?
I don't,
I mean,
I'm not 100% sure on
I don't
that.
really want the China stuff.
Yeah, I don't.
Maybe I shouldn't say it.
Bard is what we have on there now, and they've been reliable units. We can readily get parts for them, so, and they're serviceable.
That's what we have now on there.
Yes.
Jason, all these towers, they have a shack with the equipment in it? Is it a shack?
Yeah, it's
that's
a-
insulated? The shacks are insulated?
Well, they're concrete buildings. They're storm-proof, tornado-proof, and all that good stuff.
Okay,
They're,
They're not insulated.
yeah, they're insulated.
They're insulated.
Yep.
okay.
Jason, you say we're using Bard on all of them now.
Yes.
And they made it 20 years, but you can't get parts for them anymore, right? You have a bunch of them
We can't.
downstairs?
We can get the parts for them, but we're
I thought you
constantly,
told me you had, you stockpiled some parts downstairs to fix.
we do. We keep extra parts on the trucks. So if something goes down, we can dispatch to the site and get it repaired. So, but we can still get parts for them, but they're breaking down more frequently. We do have temperature monitors in the sites, so we do get alerted if the temperature rises past 75 degrees. But it's more and more frequent that we're out.
Sweet.
So what do
You're out
we
of
need
Ohio.
today? We're just discussion on this. It didn't say decision.
Well, I think where are we gonna, is that money in your budget, Jason?
It is not.
Okay. This, this is something that we can talk about in the study session if you want to, but
I think we should.
we didn't, that wasn't part of the Motorola contract. was
Yeah, that's what
replacing
I-
these.
Doug's
Found
here,
out.
is it in his budget?
Doug, do you have it in your budget?
Yeah.
No, I think that was part of the recommendation out of the, all the committee work that was done on this is that, all of our sites are so old and all the equipment needs to be replaced, including those. Because without them, they would fail, our service would fail.
So we should have this back on the agenda next week.
With the rest of the task force recommendations.
All right.
So
All
we
right.
can approve it all as one package deal.
Jason, thanks for bringing this up.
Are you going to recommend cell site solutions,
I am,
Jason?
and recommending cell site solutions.
And along with this new equipment that comes in for the tower upgrades, we're going to really be attentive to a repair schedule, a maintenance schedule,
Yes.
so that
we
we
service
don't
each-
have to replace all of them at the same time. We can do a phased implementation
So-
20 years down the road.
Yeah, like they've got a 20-year lifespan. So they're probably likely all gonna go bad at the same time again. But we do make a visit to each tower site monthly regardless if there's issues or not. So we do inspections and service on those units once a month. And then we will, if something happens, we dispatch in the middle of the night if need be to get out there and make sure that they're functioning properly.
And with all the other storage sheds that are at the tower sites, are there any other improvements that need to be made along with this update? I mean, the structures are all good. You said they were concrete block.
Everything, as far as I know, everything's good.
Best of my knowledge as well, yeah. I've not been made aware of any structural issues with those shelters.
We had structural issues out at Carson, but we addressed that about 4 years ago.
Yeah, I think it's actually before I got into the position I'm at, so.
Is there batteries there or emergency generators in case?
There's emergency generators.
Every site has an emergency generator.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we service those as well.
Thank you for putting this together, Jason.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Okay, anybody got any other questions for them? All right, we'll move on. This is discussion and or decision on ISAC request for $500 financial support for an amicus brief in the case of Corser versus Shelby County, United States Supreme Court. This is on the pipeline and eminent domain, which is going to have an effect on every county in the nation. And what it's really about is local control versus Des Moines and Washington control, mainly Des Moines here. But I put this on there because ISAC has a request for $500 from each county. It's going to cost them $25,000 to go to the Supreme Court, and it's scheduled to go. And we've been working pretty hard with this. And I thought it was a very applicable deal for us to throw in $500. And to do that, we could do that out of gaming. That's my thought.
I would support that.
Need a motion.
Well, if they say it's gonna cost $25,000, then if you round up and say there's 100 counties in Iowa, 50,000 is more. If you give them $500, it's more than 25,000.
I don't know all the,
And there were some counties that weren't participating, that weren't impacted, and ISAC was going to fund the difference, is my understanding.
we've got a pipeline gonna run right through Ottawatomie County.
Well, I just think it sets good precedent for home rule, and that's what this county board is to protect, is home rule. And at a cost of $500, I think it's a good path forward. There was a webinar that ISAC put together. I sent the link to the board members yesterday afternoon. And what I learned is Minnesota, California, and Michigan state attorney generals have also supported this effort, provided letters of support. And the Iowa Farm Bureau is filing their own amicus brief on behalf of this. So when I heard that, that just really resonated that it's an important effort and we should jump on board. And with that, I will make a motion that we approve a $500 financial support for the amicus brief in this case of Courser versus Shelby County United Supreme Court. And ISAC said that they can provide, the funding will go to ISAC and ISAC will distribute from there. And ISAC will send us an invoice if needed so that we can pay the 500.
Okay.
The issue isn't at the federal level, it's at the state level in
Right.
Iowa.
Right.
So, I mean, if we want to make the home rule case, it should be made in Des Moines, not in DC. Because that's where,
But if you read into it, they talk about many different things happening throughout the country where this will be reverted back to.
I will second.
Okay?
I think it's important that we keep this issue, up and going, so. The Supreme Court would be, my opinion, would be a perfect place to do this.
Got a motion and a second to approve the 500 for the amicus brief. And all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Aye.
Okay, motion carried. Okay. Next up, Mitch Kai, Chief Financial Officer, and Sam Markville, Captain, Communications, Discussion and or Decision to approve the addition of 4 full-time call taker positions and to proceed with recruiting and hiring for these positions. We've talked about the call takers a few weeks now, quite a bit, really.
Yeah.
And this is good. Thank you.
Oh, I appreciate your guys' effort in trying to help make this happen, and Mitch has, I believe, prepared some information for you guys, and is my understanding, I think we have the funding that we can move forward with the 4 positions.
Yeah, it's like they should have enough funding to get them through this fiscal year with moving a budget amendment. Obviously, we'll keep a close eye on it come, March, April, when we do our last amendment anyway. If they need a little extra at that point in time, we'd address it. But just from kind of the previous years, it looks like that funding would be available there. So, I mean, I don't have too much of a concern with the funding right now. As we get ready to do next year's budget, I think we'll probably be a little mindful and of knowing that they usually come in under budget. So my recommendation, maybe not be funding the full 4 positions for next budget, maybe just do 2. And then once again, when we get to that April, May, we look at that amendment, but look to see if they need an amendment at that budget or at that point in time too. Just that way we're
Or
not.
did you look at the overtime?
I can't cite the amount of it offhand right now.
Okay.
But I mean, hopefully that would reduce some of that. It definitely free up some of their trainers. So that would be reduced. Then I think they, I highlighted in my memo, and I don't know, they mentioned it last week too, with about a 50% success rate, you end up wasting $60,000 to $70,000 for each person that kind of fails out. So really it costs, $150,000 to get someone trained up to get them to their telecommunicator 3/dispatcher. So, I mean, I think this is a good effort to see who can make the cut from the telecommunicator 1 and 2 up to 3. So we'd be saving a lot of funding there too.
Good.
So Mitch, clarification, in the memo you provided, the action you recommended was to approve the hiring of 4 call taker positions. Is that still your recommendation?
Yeah, absolutely it is. The funding side isn't a concern to me for this fiscal year for sure. And I don't think it's going to be a fiscal concern for us next fiscal year either. And I think they need it. I think I think they've argued their point well. They put a lot of time and effort into vetting this as well. So just like, because for me on the money side, I'm not too concerned about it.
I had the opportunity to meet with Sam and Doug Reed, and we kind of talked numbers, and I agree with Mitch that, the money should be there for the remainder of this year to fund those, call takers. It could take, would you say, Sam, 60 days to even get them hired? Go through the hiring process?
Mhm.
And, currently you are authorized to 28, right?
Correct.
You have 25. And you have 3 in training right now, is that right?
We have, go ahead.
We're at 22 and we have 4 in training, so we're at 26. We still need to hire 2.
So you're still short?
Correct.
Oh, I thought you said 25. You're
Oh,
authorized to
man.
25.
We might have misspoke, but yeah.
Okay, so, with those always being short, it's not just this year, it's been every year.
Yeah.
Almost
Sure
every
has.
year since I've been on the board. The only thing that I want to discuss with you, Sam, is I think it was 3 years ago, we authorized you 4 more positions, but you were never able to use them. Now, we didn't budget for those. We just said if you get full, you come back to us.
Yeah, so my understanding was, yes, I don't know if the word authorized, but you said if you get full, then come back to the board. And that's, as you guys know, that's been a struggle ever since I've been in my position, and it was a struggle before I even came to the 911 center. And so that's why we're trying to take a different approach with the call takers. We are at a position where the amount of work that's being done down in the center is too taxing on individuals, where we need to have some call takers to do some of this other work to allow the dispatchers to focus on communicating with the first responders.
So with the addition of those 4 call taker positions, if you get full with your operators and full with your call takers.
Correct.
You'll come back to us and we'll discuss any additional positions.
I would like to evaluate if we're full with telecommunicator 3s and we're full with call takers. I would like to operate under that staffing level and see how we are handling the workload. And if needed, at that point, come back to the board.
I like that idea.
Okay.
This eliminates the dropout loss.
Doesn't eliminate it.
I hope it's gonna improve our success rate, yes.
I already have one young lady who would like to apply.
Yep.
Once this call positions open up.
Yep.
And she has a sister that was a 911 operator, and her sister was telling her it'd be a good job to have.
So sorry.
Go ahead. Yeah.
All of our pre-employment stuff is gonna remain the same, the background check, the psychological exam, all that's gonna remain the same. So the criteria to be a dispatcher will continue through, and hopefully we're able to get someone through the training. Yeah.
When would you post that position, Sam?
As soon as possible.
I mean, like at
Today?
10:45?
That would be great.
Okay. You move that, Susan.
I will make that motion
Okay.
to approve the hiring of 4 full-time call takers for the communication center at a step grade of 300, and to proceed with recruiting and hiring for these positions.
I'll second that.
Remember the definition of insanity?
Yeah. Right, we're trying to
Keep
fix
doing the
that.
same thing and expecting a different outcome.
Yeah.
I like that you brought this different situation forward. I'm really excited to see the success of it.
Mitch,
Get-
thank you for finding the
You
money.
people some relief down there.
In the chat.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Got a motion by Miller, a second by Jorgensen. All in favor signify by saying aye.
I
Aye. Those opposed? Motion carried. Wow, we got
I would also like to thank the board. I mean, I know everyone's kind of contributed to this. Mitch, HR Director, and Director Doug Reed, everyone's helped out to make this happen. I really do appreciate the
I think
efforts.
everybody on the board recognized it too, so.
Yeah.
This is good.
Thank you.
And you'll let us know when you have the 4, or your telecommunicator, 3 positions full and your call takers full. And Kate will be down there with her camera and it'll be a big day.
That would be great.
That should be by 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
Thanks, you
Thank
guys.
you. Appreciate it.
It's been a long haul, but this is gonna be good for everybody. Thank you. Okay, next up, committee appointments. Jeff, you got something?
Yeah, well, let's see, Wednesday I was at the Southwest Iowa Juvenile Detention, Governing Board meeting. Things are moving along, down there. Also, I was at the, Underwood, Road Department shop, for a meeting Friday. Andy's arranged a meeting at all the shops, around the county every Friday, so we're going to be continuing going on down that road. I really appreciate, Andy, what you're doing and getting it introduced, and I think our shopping is really appreciate it. So I'm just letting you know that. And also, just real quick, as a Marine Corps veteran, I'm going to say this Thanksgiving, we should be mindful and very thankful for our service veterans who are not going to be home for Thanksgiving or Christmas. I remember those days, and I'm very thankful for their service and what they do for all of us. And also, just to benefit Mary Ann Hanusa. Mary Ann, I was up all night last night wondering where the sun went, and then this morning it dawned on me.
Thank you. I can appreciate that. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. We did the bike trails last week. Then we do another bike trail meeting here. And then I'm working on the bike trails quite a bit. The Council Bluffs Visitor Bureau, or and then I think it was last week or maybe the week before, we did this, the Great American Smokeout over at the Public Health. And they chose some of us to be judges on this. So like we had some fantastic barbecue. And Boxer Barbecue won. That was good. I really liked them. Then I was out at Trainer for their dedication to their new development. They've got a new road in there. Deb Durham was out there. So was Kate. And then I was here for the National Adoption Day Saturday, which was really cool. I brought my granddaughter, and boy, that's a touching deal. They adopted 14 children, and Judge Kalnowski that's her passion. I mean, this lady really goes for it, and it was neat to be invited and neat to participate. So I'm really happy for those 14 children.
And I was here as well for that, and there was a great article in the Nonpareil about it today, so it was a great event. I also went to the trainer celebration with Deb Durham and their new connector road. Prior to that, I was at the Hungry Canyons meeting, and we hosted it at the Road Operations Center, and we had good turnout there, and we learned about the history of the Missouri River, some of it. But prior to that, I got to, Shauna was off for the day. So I went early and manned the phones for a couple of hours, and that was eye-opening. Just to hear the different calls that come in and understand the importance of that position. And it was just kind of a nice change of pace for me. And then I wanted to ask, what are we going to do for December meeting dates? Are we going to cancel the December 30th board meeting, since we have to have one on January 2nd, that same week? Or,
Well, it's New Year's Eve, so
I mean, we can put it on the agenda to discuss next week so that we can take formal action on it, but I just thought our department heads would like to know what our plans were so they can plan their schedules accordingly.
And we gotta be in here on that Friday anyway. Is there any, I wonder if there's any business we need to finish up for the calendar year versus the fiscal year? Shouldn't be.
If there is, we could do it on the 23rd.
Okay. I'm in favor of what you're doing, what you're proposing.
But we'll put it on the agenda next week for
Okay.
formal approval, so
All right.
everybody's on board. But if they've got anybody's got any thoughts on that, let us know.
I would check with all of our department heads, make sure they don't have anything either.
And just in case we got some business, if we do, I'd recommend we do the 29th instead of the 30th. If we got business.
Yeah.
Okay, Mary Ann, is there any public comments?
Yes, we have two.
Okay.
David Snyder of Council Bluffs and Shauna, and I'm going to butcher your last name, so, okay, from Council Bluffs as well.
You have to come up to the podium, state your name and address, and speak to the board. Who's up first? David? Morning.
Morning. I still state my address?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
David Snyder, 18198 Sunnydale Road, Council Bluffs. I have two topics this morning. You all did a great job of explaining to me when I came before you to ask, I was a little fired up as to why in the world we would have purchased the Crescent Ski Hills. And you clearly told me why we did, and it makes sense. I'm just asking today, do you have, or do we have access to a P&L statement that says, are we making money off the ski range or are we not? That's one question.
Okay.
And then the second thing is, I've been here to a lot of the meetings, and one thing that really concerns me among many is when the engineering department, I think it's the right department, comes before you. I came from the recycling industry, was there for 48 years. And I see that a lot of times when they come to you with a bid or something for a bridge or whatever it is, you only have one quote. In my business world, they would throw that back at me and tell me that if you don't have three, do not waste our time and come back before us. I just want to make sure that we're using taxpayer dollars wisely and that we would have some kind of a mandate to where we would have procedures and say, okay, you have to have three proposals. Now, I realize that in Omaha, the steel industry maybe is not as large as what it was for the people that don't know, but still within 150-mile radius, we have some of the major steel manufacturers in the United States, some very good ones. And so I'm proposing that I think that you make a mandate and say, when you have those coming to us, they have got to have, I'm not saying three has to be the number, but way more than one, and then you accept that. That just, to me, in the business world, that's unacceptable. That's all I have today.
Thank you.
Shauna?
I'd like to apologize. I used my daughter's Apple computer. I gave everyone a copy and so my grammar's horrible. First, I'd like to thank you all for everything that you've done regarding Wabash and between Pioneer and Wabash, trying to resolve the situation. I wanted to ask if Google's ever given you an end date for the construction and whole.
The dirt being
Not
full,
there, I mean, the whole.
more city than us.
It is in the city of Council Bluffs, however,
Because we bought Google's property and we're being taxed as residential. I don't know if we're being taxed as city or not, because we talked about dividing the property. And they said that may cause us to be city. So I'm not really sure.
I think yours is still county.
I think so. I hope so. J.E. Dunn, the construction company doing Google's business, Jeremy Long took us out to dinner 2 years ago with our neighbors, our former neighbors, who since then moved since the dirt started. and told us that it was gonna be 2 years. There were 2 buildings they were gonna put up. He came over a few weeks ago when I was asking about the trucks. And he said that there were 2 more buildings added. He showed me the plans, obviously didn't give me a copy of my, tried to get one, but, so he said it could be up to 2 years for the dirt to be moving. I know there wasn't a meeting because there wasn't one required. You already answered that for me. Because it's just a big change in living conditions. I mean, it's noise literally 6 days a week. We appreciate what you've done, but the trucks are still coming and it's, peaceful living. You talked about that, so. And I see that there's a Brothers Construction that's doing that's who's doing the dirt work or doing is that who's doing the dirt work? Because I was contacted by Chris Flesher with Peterson Contractors that wanted a temporary easement to my property and also my neighbors. We did turn them down through JE Dunn. We called them and said, we don't want your trucks coming through there. But at that time, they didn't notify us that they were going to be coming from Pioneer Trail. This was 2 years ago. No, this was in May 7th of this year. I was wondering if anybody's gonna take care of, once this stops, because the roads are breaking down. My apron driveway I've got pictures, the apron to my drive, it's getting pretty beat up. And when I talked to Google or Mr. Long, he said, oh, that's the farmers. And I said, no, they come twice a year. They come to plant and they come to harvest. I mean, in my opinion, that's only my own opinion. And lastly, I think Paula already talked to you about our mailboxes. I don't know if there's anything you can do about that, but it's pretty dangerous trying to go out and get our mail right. And that's all I have. And thank you again for listening to me. And I'm sorry I'm not a great public speaker and I'm sorry for the grammar.
Fine.
That's fine.
Thank you.
We do have plans to touch up the road next year when it's all done. So
When the roof is all finished.
when this project
Okay.
of hauling dirt out of our part is done. When I say our part, our coming out of the county Pioneer Trail. When that's all done, they'll tighten everything up. And where they get dirt from there, we don't know. We don't have any say on what's going on down there. And that is the biggest, is that a server farm or
It's a cloud farm.
and it's the biggest in the world.
I know the problem, and they are putting up a berm because my neighbors just moved behind us and sold their house. And they are putting up a berm to kind of give us a break from what's going on a little bit further south of us. But, it's just, we've transplanted from Sarpy County. My husband's a retired veteran from Offutt Air Force Base, and we moved over across the river, and I started selling real estate over here and I absolutely love where we are. It's just, it's been a long road with us with Google.
I get it.
But we're happy they're there because you mentioned a pipeline and Carbon Summit Solutions wanted to put a CO2 pipeline on our property. And, because Google's behind us, it was a no. So I don't know if that's the pipeline you're talking about. But, I was part of the resistance for the
Hopefully
pipeline.
just a little more time. Hopefully. All right. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for coming in. We're gonna do a little discussion on Motorola Solutions Agreement. We have 3 options for consideration. What I'd like to do is take a 5-minute break before we start that. And we'll get back at it. 5 minutes, okay? Thank you.